What's up guys, it's Missy. I am back with another SimCity Buildit video. We're going to be doing the voting for the design challenge. I wanted to show you guys what it's like to vote through the design challenge for those of you who haven't done it yet. Now, keep in mind that most of these cities are pretty shitty. Also, I don't think they have fixed the contest of mayor's assignments. I think they took out the voting one for now until they can get that fixed. Okay. So as you can see that let's see. It says that it closes in, 5 minutes from that. Honestly, you get to pick between like one or the other, and then you click next. And honestly, most of these are just shit. Like every single thing on here is crappy, you know? Like, what? Who even submits something so freaking stupid? I mean, I don't know. They don't even try, you know? And like the ones that I've seen win, like, they aren't that great either. So it's not really any fun to vote. And then you just get a random prize or whatever. And then it says that voting closes in 16 hours and you can vote again in, I think it's like 8 hours or something. Then you get these blueprint things, and yeah, that's how that works. I pretty much got what I wanted out of that pass, so I'm just voting and submitting the designs for the hell of it. But yeah, pretty much it's pretty lame. So until they can figure out what the hell they got going on, I guess do the bare minimum, which is probably why a lot of people are not really trying very hard, because of the fact that, I mean, you submit these designs, you go through all this hell, and you put out all this work, and really it doesn't matter, right? So like you can submit a really shitty design, and as long as you meet the requirements, you get what you get. When you look at like the people that have won, it's honestly like, I don't understand how they won, because their shit's not that great either, you know? When you click on the design symbol here and then you look at the results section, you go through your stuff here, and then it's like, okay, this one was one of the winners. Now, yeah, at least this person tried. Okay, I give them that. Then you look at this one. Again, at least they tried, but this one wasn't very good in my opinion. Then you have this one. So it's like, what? If you use red walls, you're automatically just a winner? Like, is that what they're going for here? Because every single person that's won has used red walls. But I think that they need to kind of shorten the people that see your stuff and vote on your stuff. Like, we only have one winner for everyone. Are you kidding me? And you're telling me out of every freaking design that was submitted, that was the best. I find that very hard to believe, because I know mine was better than that. So, I mean, you have to ask yourself, like, how are these being voted on? Are you being seen at the same rate that everybody else? Because to me, this is a really poor system, the way it's set up. Like, we should be allowed to vote on whoever we want, right? And it should be kind of like the contest of mayors. You have all these people within like a certain league, right? So put all these people within a league and then make it to where everybody can participate without having to level up. Because a lot of people aren't participating because they don't want to level up. I don't blame them. And then you have to take into consideration that it's not fair for the people that are just starting out. They don't have anything. So what they need to do is they need to provide us with the buildings that we're allowed to use. You know, give us a wide variety of buildings, but allow it to be accessible to everybody. Put us in with people of our level, of course, kind of like what they do with the contest. And then have us all kind of competing against each other, and then give us a certain amount of votes that we're allowed to use and vote on whatever we want. Not this, oh, this or that shit. That's bullcrap. That's how I would do things if I was going to do something like this. Right now, if I were you, I would participate in this feature for what you need to get whatever reward it is that you want from it. But if you're a lower level player that's camping, I wouldn't participate in this because it's just not worth it. It's not worth having to level up. If you are leveling up, or you have experience room on your bar or whatever, don't waste it on this shit. Unless it's like for the contest and you can do it without costing yourself anything major, right? Make sure that the reward outweighs the cost. Okay, so let's go do the design review that I was talking about. A couple of people made some changes to their cities, so I wanted to go ahead and look at that. I haven't been to their city since yesterday when I did the design review. I don't know who all made changes, but this person sent me a message saying that they had, and I told them that I would review it real quick, and of course it's nighttime. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to give it a few minutes to kind of brighten up here because I can't really see anything. Yeah, okay. Alright, so. What the hell? I hate how you can't pick like when it's nighttime or daytime. It drives me crazy. Alright. It looks like they haven't changed anything back there yet. I don't know if I'm just not seeing the changes that were made. Okay, wait, I see. So it looks like they put some of this stuff over here. They moved some stuff around with the Ferris wheel and the bridge and all that. Okay, so like this road here that leads off from the bridge, this one, again, that water with the roadway, it doesn't look good. You know, it looks weird. I would, let me see. What can you do to fix that? So, for the hot air balloons, I would probably put them on the back side. Okay, so like right in this area here, maybe. Or actually, if it was me, I would put them elsewhere. But like this here, this doesn't need a road, this particular building. So you don't have to put it up against the road. The trees, they don't need a road. So like this whole section here, how you've got this box that's drawn, that doesn't make sense, like to utilize. Basically, you have these roads and you have water and trees and buildings that don't require roads. So you have all this road that doesn't need to be there. And it just looks like shit, right? So if it was me, I would take out these. Well, you've got this road here, okay? For those of you who are wondering what that last building looks like on your map, that's that chocolate fountain that's placed with the little like starburst type trees. So these pink trees and stuff, this stuff would look really good if you did a better display. So what you should do is if you're going to keep this pink display the way that you have it, you should probably take this road and knock it out completely, okay? Knock out this road on the side completely. And then either figure out where you want to lead this bridge to, have it lead to like an island with houses or whatever. But more importantly, you have all these really badass buildings right here that you could do a really cool display with. And you kind of just have them all bunched together. I would either separate them a little bit, putting water and trees around them, or maybe, like putting a dash of road, having it there, and then kind of rounding everything off with some trees and water. What I've noticed with this person's design style is they draw a long road and then they just kind of cram everything into it, and then they kind of surround it with what they can. Try to not do that. Try to shorten your roads and try to make everything blend a little better. So like, for example, you have this thing here where the parade walks through, and then you have this kind of shoved behind the Ferris wheel. And then you have like all these pink buildings and stuff, but you've shoved them all into one little box, you know, when you could have separated them a little bit, surrounded them with trees and water, and made a really badass display. Especially if you were to take these particular buildings and put them like out there, maybe in the middle of your map, or even if you were going to go to this side, have it look better. So let's say you were to take out these roads above where this bridge is here. Take all this shit out, okay? Put a dash of road and place one of these parks on a dash of road. Surround that little dash of road with some trees and water, and then do the same thing with another one of these. Or what you could do is put a dash of road and put one of the parks, and then take this heart building here and put it on the other side of the road because it's a universal building, and then have water leading up to the heart park, and then put the other stuff surrounding it, right? That's one option. What you want to do is you want to put this here. This is also a universal building, the one with the parade. So you could put that, let's say, on the front side of the bridge, and then moving these trees out of the way, putting that there, so the parade is still going across the bridge and going around everything. If you look at the way that you're building stuff, look at like this. Okay, so like you draw a box, right? And then you put everything within the box, and then you draw another box, you put everything within the box. That's how your stuff is all set up. Try to do things a little bit differently. Like try to have things kind of curve a little bit, or try not to box everything in. For example, like this here. You've got this long ass road that leads all the way to here, right? Okay, that's fine. So now you've got this here. Why put trees? Okay, so like you put trees there, right? And the way that you have this road here that leads off the blue bridge, it looks like shit, you know, like with the way the water is. So either knock that road out completely, or maybe scoot everything over a little bit so that you can surround it with stuff, like maybe a park or something else, right? Like you could even, I mean, if you were going to do like a bridge like this, I'm trying to think of how you could fix this. So what you could do is, where's your axis at? Okay, there's some axis. Okay. You don't have any trees surrounding these houses at all, right? So I would move the water, and then what you could do, honestly, to be really honest with you, I would fix all of it. Like right here, you have something really cool. Okay, it looks really good here, right? Try to make this blend with this. So you've got, this looks really good. The front looks really, really good. From right where the bridge is and forward, looks really good. From here back, it looks really good. But right here in the middle, this needs fixed. If it was me, I would take all the houses and move them over here for a little bit. And I would try to take this pink stuff here, or whatever buildings it is that you have that you really like, and I would try to build something here in the center, okay? Like some kind of an island, maybe, like I said, I don't know what buildings you have, but maybe take whatever buildings it is that you have and build like a circle island here in the center, and then have that island branch off with a bridge, and you can do little sections of home, like maybe 3 or 4 houses, surround them with trees and water, and then have that bridge leading to another section with houses, surround those with trees and water, and try to just make it look better, because like right now it honestly looks like you just have a really long road leading to a residential area that's just kind of smacked together, if that makes sense. Like when I see this road here, I look at all that road that doesn't need to be there is what I look at. And even if you were going to have like a lot of road, you should utilize it with really nice looking stuff, right? So like the hot air balloons, they float across your city in general, okay? So you can stuff those away like back here or over here, wherever. Like you can stuff those away somewhere to where they're not seeing the building, but they're seeing the hot air balloons. Then you have like this weirdo building here, which this thing is a pain in the ass to place, but it has one of those parade things. So, I mean, you do want to put that on a long stretch of road, you know, because it has a parade. But that particular building doesn't match any of the stuff that's surrounding it. So I would take that and put it in its own little category for now. All of this stuff, it matches. This is a whole theme that you got going on here, right? But what you've done is you've just taken this box and you've just smashed it all together, when you could have made a display out of it, like what you've done up here with these landscape items. You know, you made a display, right? You didn't just box it all together. Now, you can leave it on this side if you want, but what you need to do is you need to look at what is the main, like, attraction to your city, right? Anytime you do a design, you want to have like a centerpiece, if you will, something that stands out. So like on my city, my main part of my city is the waterfront, you know, with the Eiffel Tower, and everything else is just kind of different displays that branch off the main display. Now, most people, when they do their map, they don't really do that. They just they have a starting point, and then they just kind of branch off everything, and they just keep going. Like they keep building to the left or to the right, and then they just kind of try to group everything together, and they don't really try to tear everything apart. One thing I've noticed with a lot of people when it comes to design is once they have something half-ass built, they don't really take anything apart and retry everything. And that is a major, major flaw. If you're gonna be a designer, like if you really want to make a badass, you know, city, you're gonna have to get over that, oh, I just put everything here, I don't want to tear it apart attitude. If you don't like something, tear it apart. Tear it all apart. You know, don't settle for, oh, well, I don't want to move that, or yeah, sure, it would look better if it was scooted over, but I'll just leave it just because, you know. No, don't do that. You know, you put too much time into this game to half-ass it, is what I'm trying to say. And this, to me, up here, up front, this does not look half-assed. This does not look half-assed. This does. This looks like I don't know what to do, so I just dealt with it the way that it was. If it was me, I would take all of these houses and scoot them all back over here, tear apart all these roads, and restart. And try to envision what you want, you know, like as far as like the residential goes or whatever, because right now it just looks like you just have this long road leading to a cluster, if that makes sense. Like you have this really badass landscape type theme going, but the shit in between makes no sense at all, right? So try to organize it a little bit better. If it was me, I would probably go with, first off, bulldoze all these roads, okay? Take all these out, move all the houses, get all that shit out of the way. And what you can do is try to shape your water to a certain style. Like, do you want a big body of water? Do you want little creeks that kind of go through? You know, what is it that you want to do with the water? Because that seems to be kind of what's getting you here. Like, it looks like you want to have a lot of water in your city, but you don't really know where to put it. So what I wanted to show you is, let's go back to my city and I'll show you a couple things, and then I'll show you 2 other people's cities that I wanted to show you. Okay, so if you look at my city here, hang on. So let's wait for it to be a little brighter. I don't even know what I was working on. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Oop, nope, don't do that. Okay, so I wish we could like zoom way out and do like an air view. But if you look at the way my water is, okay, so here's the main waterfront, right? Right here at the main part of the city. This is the way you would face it. I have the water and it goes up to the one waterfall. Then I have the water go this way and up to waterfall number 2. Okay? Now, at this point, I say, okay, I want little islands kind of everywhere. So I have the water that branches off. But see how the roads are drawn? I didn't draw the roads 100% and then place the buildings. I drew a little bit and I worked in one area and I slowly worked my way over. I would have never been able to just draw these roads out the way that they were. Now, I didn't start off like this. For example, what I do, for instance, like right here, this one particular area is the only area I'm working on right now, right? So I will take buildings from other areas and work on this area. Now, granted, that other area that I took the building from is now tore apart. So once I'm done here, I have to go there and fix that. I don't try to fix both things at once, because if I try to do that, shit just ends up a mess. Now, what you'll notice is once you fix one thing or you start working on one thing, that it just kind of clusters and you have to keep going, right? But what you should do is don't look at the whole picture. You know, only look at bits and pieces of your picture. You want to have an idea of what you want, but you want to fine-tune everything separate, okay? So what I knew was I knew that I wanted to have a really badass looking city, right? I wanted you to look at my city and go, okay, that looks really cool, and have it be like that the whole time you scroll around. Not like, oh, that looks really cool, but everything else is shit. You see what I'm saying? So what you should do when you're working on your city is work in one area and make it look the best that you possibly can. Don't just be like, well, I'm just going to have all this stuff out and half-ass it. Do you know how easy it would be for me to just fill this in? It would look good either way, right? But I want it to look the best that I can make it look. So I'm trying every different building. I'm trying every different, type of bridge, type of trees. Like, I try like every different thing I can possibly think of, and then I make my selection based off that. And if I do something that I don't like, I go back and fix it. Do you know how many times I've fixed my city? I'm never gonna be done fixing it. But more importantly, you need to know where the water's going. Okay? Because if you just spread water out, it's gonna look like shit. Try to figure out if you want a big body of water or if you want little streams. And if you do want streams, which is what it looks like you do, you need to shape those streams to going somewhere, whether it be with trees or buildings or whatever. But what you don't want to do is you don't want your water to just be like flooding everywhere. Like on your map, it's up against the roads, it's up against the trees, it's at the back of the city, it's at the front of the city. You want to shape it, okay? For instance, like one of the times I was doing my city, up here, I had this rounded off at some point, and all I had was residentials on this side. Now, what I did was I said, well, I want to add a third waterfall. How am I going to do that? So I'm like looking at it from the air view, and I'm like, okay, if I cut in through here, through this area here, I can cut through and then bring the water up, right? Now, I have to decide where I want this water to be. I could connect it from here to here. Is that something I want to do? I don't know. But right now, it's going through here and wrapping around, and here's the island here. Then I've got this island. Now what I did here was I wanted to make it kind of look like it blends a little bit, you know, like with the landscape to the buildings. Now, for whatever reason, I'm not really liking the way that this is set up. It looks too landscapey here. Looks like I need a little more building. So maybe what I'll do is I'll take the landscape and bring it up this way. But when you look at stuff, you have to have a really open mind. You have to start to think like, okay, should I go more landscape? Should I go more residential? Should I kind of turn things around and make them look better? But more importantly, what you want to do is you want to see how it looks from one angle. Don't worry about how it looks from every angle, otherwise you'll be there forever. But if you look at the way my map is, right? A lot of you guys are used to seeing it the way it's supposed to be seen, which is the way I built it, this way. But if you turn it around, it looks like a completely different city, right? But what I did was I don't leave any spots without something in them. Like a lot of people will leave all these spaces open of like ground or whatever. Don't do that, okay? Like if you want to make it look really, really good, you got to fill in everything, right? Then you have to take into consideration what you're blocking. Like, for instance, this here, I don't like this particular building, right? But it does have water, so it does blend well with the water that surrounds it. Now, this area here is a really good spot for me to put like a castle or like one of those big landmark type buildings. Now, this right here would look good right here, right? It does look good there. But trying to get this to look good elsewhere is difficult, you know, and trying not to block things off and trying not to overdo it, you know, you got to try multiple different things. You've got to look at the way bridges look going horizontal versus vertical. If I was to put, let's say, the cobblestone bridge where this suspension bridge is, it would look like total shit. Now, unfortunately, we don't have a lot of options when it comes to bridges, but like when you look at, like, for instance, this here, see how I have these two buildings up along the front here on the water? If you have any of those, try to utilize those. They're a great asset. This here is probably not going to remain here. It's probably going to go somewhere else. I do like the way that the water looks when it's up against the I'll show you what I mean. With this particular building, I did this the other day and I was like, oh, that actually looks really good. So if you take this building here and you take water and you have it kind of branch off like that, but then you put, like, let's say something short so you can still kind of see it, right? Of course it goes dark, but you get my point. Like, to me it looks decent like that. This Cupid guy, whatever, you know, I have him shooting the stupid bush. I could turn this, but I mean, like, yeah, it looks better. It matches him shooting it, but it looks like shit with the bush like that. Like, I would just turn it, you know, it looks better that way. Now, it makes it kind of difficult when you have to put buildings in a specific direction. So for example, like, let's see. Okay, so like this one here, the swans or whatever. These are a really good universal building, so I would never put these on the other side of the water or the other side of the road, because you have very, very few universal buildings. Take advantage of those. Anytime you can put a building on the other side of the road, take advantage of that, because it comes by very, very, very seldomly. That goes back to like this here, right? So like this one, the only reason that it's on this side of the road is because I want it to do the parade right along the front of my city. And I don't have any road, like I don't have any road that I could do it on the flip side. But if I was to put this anywhere else, I would have it on the other side of the road, because it's one of the only buildings you can do it with. Try to have everything, facing a specific direction. Like a lot of people, when they do their shops and stuff, they just have them kind of going whatever way or whatever. Like, people don't realize the littlest details make all the difference. If you take, let's say, trees and you block off the view of everything because you use tall trees, it's going to make all the difference if you use short trees, or if you use trees that match a certain color sequence, right? So I was going to show you my cactus map here. One of my pet peeves with this game is the water being up against the roadways. To me, it just looks so freaking tacky. I can't explain it, but like putting the water right up against the road, it just doesn't make sense to me. It looks way too like futuristically like shit. And I'm getting really sick and tired of this game being dark. Okay, so why does it keep popping that up? Alright, so I have these hearts kind of drawn here. Now, one of the things that I decided that I was going to do with the regional maps is that I'm going to design something, do a video walkthrough, tear it apart, and do a different design. That way I don't have to like settle for any one thing on my regionals. But I normally would not do a heart theme on a cactus map. You know, I did it because this is the one map where it's pretty wide open. Now, yesterday I went through and I kind of moved some of these residentials. These tall residentials are a pain in the freaking ass. Okay, they block everything. You have to look at everything like this if you want to see what's there. So when I use tall residentials, I try to make sure that there's nothing around, nothing like behind them, you know, that, okay, that's all there is to see there is that. It's not like, you know, that I'm putting buildings in between them, because there's no point. You can't freaking see them, right? So let's go to one of the other people's map in the group here. Let's go back to Sydney, see if he made any changes. But you can see like his water has a direction, a shape, right? It's going in a specific area. It's not just like, oh, look, his water leaked out, you know? Okay, so as you can see, his has it's almost so like perfectly shapen it looks weird. He did an excellent job, right? Like, really good job. But up here, I would probably try to see, like right here, he kind of started to venture off from this perfect alignment that he's got going on here. Like right here, I would put something, this princess castle looking thing, that would look good. Maybe, like, I'm trying to think of what I'm trying to say. Like with his map, it feels like there's something that should be centered, if that makes sense. Like right here is probably going to be the main attraction of his city, is what I would assume is right here in this general area, right where the Sydney Opera House is. he could do something really, really cool if he splits his shops up, you know? He could keep them together, but then he would probably have to kind of center the front of his city a little bit different, unless he went with something similar to mine where he put the waterfront right behind the shops, which it kind of looks like he's going with a more landscape type feel. So what he could do is do the same thing that he's done up here, but down lower, and just make everything blend really nice. Because right now it looks like total shit right here, but then looks really badass back here, you know? But it'll be interesting to kind of see which way he goes with it. In terms of, like, right here, you know, you can tell that he's got these little sections that, like, okay, he has one branch in here, 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 so that's three coming down this way. And then if he continues on, that would be interesting to see, because he would have like 5 or 6 different areas that meet down at the beach. Okay, let's go to... I haven't seen Sandrine's city in a while. Okay, so... So her water is in a specific shape, which it looks like the shape was placed before anything was really put in there. Hang on. Just kind of looking around here. So when I did a review on her city a while back, I was talking about these services here in the center with the diamond. That's total garbage. I would never do that. There's no reason to show off your services. That's ridiculous. You know, like, there's nothing attractive about the sewage plant and the water tower that would warrant it to be right in the middle of your perfect, you know, diamond water display here. So, okay, right here, I would, let's see. I would probably continue the water the way that she has it this way. And then I would surround it with trees and then fix the buildings. But I mean, the water does have a direction, but these roads, what are you, drunk? What the hell? Yeah. I mean, she's got something really cool going. She's got the outline of something really cool going. It just needs a lot of work, you know? For example, like these buildings here are nothing to show off. The whole center of the city screams garbage, you know? It's like, why would you want to display your coal power coming off the waterfall and yeah, okay. That's interesting. I'd be fixing that, definitely. She did something kind of similar with the water. It's in smaller streams or whatever. But one bit of advice to the people that are doing this: when you guys put all this stuff out in a cluster like this, it makes it really difficult to envision a design, and it makes it really difficult to get started. Try to organize some of your cluster, right? So, like, for instance, this person has, like, okay, so, like, they have this diamond-shaped water thing going. And then, like this here, this doesn't need a road. So it just looks weird with the road there. This is a big area here to kind of waste on this much landscape the way that it is. How would I explain this? Okay, so if this was my map, I would put all of the houses on one side, and I would put all the stuff in storage besides, like, I guess what I'm trying to say with this map is I don't see where you're going with it, right? So, like, how do I explain this? Everything is just thrown out there. Like, if you were to take a backpack of school supplies, you have people that have their shit organized, and then you have people that dump their shit out on the ground. This is like, I want to have a cool looking city, but it's complete chaos. This to me tells me that this person really doesn't know what they want yet, right? And when you put out a lot of stuff like this, when you have no idea what you want, it creates a lot more work for you later, because now you just have all this shit laid out that it just needs picked up, and it makes it hard for you to have a starting point when you have all this crap in the way. If I was this person, picking up a lot of this stuff is going to be really tedious, right? So I would first start with trying to figure out what you want. You know, what kind of city do you want? Try to take a piece of paper and kind of outline the way that you want your water, like what you envision your city being. Then take your pen and make a list of, like, okay, this is the kind of house I want. This is the, like, layout that I want. You know, do you want a really congested city? It looks like this person wants something. Let's see. To me, it looks like this person wants a little bit of everything. Like, they want a little bit of the mountain stuff. They want a little bit of the tall stuff, the Tokyo stuff. They've got new townhomes. They've got, you know, Latin. If it was me, I would probably take these Latin homes and put them towards the more colorful type of display, and then take probably the mountain homes and put them, you know, more towards the back and do more of like a rustic display. And then this area here, I would either put along the right side or up here, you know. But more importantly, it looks like they want the water to lead from the beach back to the waterfall. And the better question is, how do you want it to go? Do you want one big body of water? Do you want islands that branch off? Do you want, you know, like, do you really want all of this deserty style stuff? If there's stuff in here that you feel like you would rather have on a different map when you get to that point, I wouldn't put a lot of effort into making it out to be on your map. So, like, let's say that you don't like this Tokyo style stuff. I wouldn't even bother having it out then, you know, because what'll end up happening is when you unlock your regional, you'll move all this shit over, and then all this hard work and display was really for nothing. So if you don't like something that you have, don't put it out just to have it out, right? Just keep it in storage until you find a place for it. And if you never find a place for it, then whatever, it's fine. Try to do what you like the most on your capital is the best advice I can give to you guys. And try to, what you should do is you should try to envision the bigger picture, and then once you have a stencil of what you want to do, zoom in on one area and work that one area and do the best you can in that one area, and then venture on, right? And if your vision changes throughout that time, then adapt it to whatever ideas you have. Take any screenshots that you see on the global market of anything that you like the look of. That way you have some ideas, you know. I'm not saying you got to copy somebody else 100%, but there's a lot of good ideas out there that you may not have thought of on your own, right? Let's go to another person's. I'll just pick a random person's city here. Let's see. Let's go to her city real quick. And a lot of these people, they're still pretty low level. They don't have a whole lot, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult for them. Okay, so this person's city, if it was me, with all these homes separated the way that they are, I would try to use a little bit more bridges to connect them and try to round off the edges of the road the best that you can, because the way that the roads are, it just looks really bad. The design looks really cool. You know, like the whole idea of the water and the trees and the houses being as separated as they are, it looks really cool. But the way that the roads are, it just looks tacky, right? So I would try to blend the roads the best that you can and shorten them the most that you can, and try to align stuff to where you can have bridges leading to things. Try to take this centerpiece here. You have like a big box, I would honestly, if you're gonna go with like a rectangle stuff, or not rectangle, but like a square, I don't know. I would probably take out all these schools because they're ugly as hell, and do a better display. Like, okay, like this, right? You could make this look better if you were to combine this stuff with this stuff up here. And let's see. Okay, so like right here, this area, I mean, you've got a Maxis here, and it's hitting like 3 homes. I would place homes in more locations. Like, okay, here you've got this huge stretch of road, and it's just got trees on it. Like, I would probably, I would have probably had a bridge that came off this and connected to this, and then it deleted this entire road here, and then maybe put the Maxis here-ish, right around the trees here, or even here. I mean, like this stuff here. This is a lot of room to be wasted on services, Like, there's just so much space that could be better utilized. Especially like with this big body of water right here that branches off. This right here looks like it should have more around it, if that makes sense. But I get the person's general idea with this, is what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, with this type of stuff, when you have houses spread out the way that you do, you really want to have the centerpieces like popping. You know what I mean? Like, damn, that looks good. And then the stuff branches off, and it's kind of like, it's so spread out and so thin that there's nothing that screams, hey, look at me. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. Like, you would think that this area or this area would have something that really draws the person in. So I would work on that and just trying to make it grab the attention of somebody. Everything it seems to blend so well that there's nothing that screams, hey, this is the center of my city, or this is like the main attraction, or whatever. All right, you guys, I'm going to go. If you want me to review your city, then you have to let me know, that you want it reviewed, or who you are, or whatever. All right.